Hey folks, it is Jack with the Hamilton Realty Group and EXP Realty here with our first scaling up of 2022. I've had a hard time having to continue to say 2022, but this is our first scaling up that we're going to be doing. We are providing this. We'll be doing these shows every month, and really the purpose of this is to provide you with obviously information on the real estate business, but then just anything that is maybe important that will help you not only in business but in your personal life. So that is what the scaling up is all about. And this month, what I was going to talk with you about is the best version of you. Recently, myself and our team, we were in an event with a John Maxwell certified trainer, and this kind of point was hit on for a good portion of that conversation. So it's really that the best version of you thinks more. And I think about my coaching career and the amount of time I've been in business and just my whole life, and I actually think about some of the quotes that have stuck in my mind. One from a long time ago, Napoleon Hill, and it just says that you become what you think about all day long. And so this kind of ties in with what we want to talk about is the best version of you actually thinks more. And Dr. Albert Schweitzer, somebody much smarter than I, was asked one time, what's the problem with people? What's wrong with people? And after a few minutes, he paused and he said, the problem with people is that they just don't think enough. They just don't take the time to think enough. And they kind of go through their daily activities on autopilot, or they continue to just do the same thing over and over again. And they just plain outright don't think about it much. So, I mean, if you think about that and kind of maybe relate that to yourself in your life, I mean, is that you? I mean, I know when I heard this concept that I'm going to explain to you here during that recent seminar, it really kind of hit a bell and made me to start thinking about, how I look at my business, how I look at my, family relationships, friendships, financial, the whole thing. So that is something that, it made me think about. So, Dr. Schweitzer said, what's wrong with people? They just don't think enough. And, one of the things that kind of resonated during that seminar for me was that, number one, thinking is hard. As I'm sitting here right now doing this first scaling up, I'm having to think and stay focused on you because I got 100 other things going on, So I think the first thing you have to do is admit that thinking is hard. And then the other thing, and I think back to my education, my upbringing, is that people just really haven't been taught, how to think better. So that's what I kind of want to address today, is just looking at that. I mean, accept the fact that thinking is hard, and that, if you look back, people really don't teach you a lot about thinking. There's all kinds of other things they teach you, but they don't. So I'm hoping that this principle will help you. And I want you to remember that the best version of you is the person that's thinking more. Thinking more is really your simple key to more. And I want you to keep remembering that. Thinking more is your key to more. That can be, thinking more about your business. Again, thinking more about your finances, thinking more about your relationships. But if you'll take some time during the day to just think more, carve that time out. You know me, if you're following me, if it's not in my schedule, it doesn't exist. So it's something that I had to put into my schedule to make happen. But I want you also to remember that the best version of you is that version that thinks more. So another quote that I wrote down at that meeting was that we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our habits. And think about that again. We don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our habits. So what I hope that you get out of this exercise is a way to increase, your goals in all areas of your life, and most importantly, also to look at changing some of your habits, because we got to be totally transparent. We all have habits that we probably need to look at and break. So, just a thought there. So, anyhow, this seminar that we went through talked about a concept called Think 30. Think 30. And it's really simple. It's just it's simple, but it's hard. It's just to take 30 minutes out of your day with eliminating all the distractions, getting rid of the phone, don't be on your computer, really spend 30 minutes a day just thinking more. And so what I want to quickly just kind of lay out is, okay, so how do we go through that? And what does Think 30 mean? And Think 30 basically says that in your first 10 minutes, and you probably need to set a timer or be aware of the clock, but we want you to just focus on this. During your first 10 minutes is just to define a goal and focus on that. And again, I want to stress that this doesn't have to be just business. This can be a goal to improve a relationship, a goal to improve your finances, a goal to improve your health. These are things that you can look at. So what you want to do, and old-fashioned, I've been doing this, is just take a piece of paper and you spend 10 minutes writing out a goal that you want to achieve. That could be something that you want to achieve in the next month, the next quarter, the next year, doesn't matter, but just define a goal. And then take the next 10 minutes and simply start writing out thoughts and ideas on how you can achieve the goal that you've written down. And the thing I picked up during this was really cool. It's not the quality of what you write down, it is the quantity. In fact, the presenter said that, when you're writing down things about your goal and you're maybe only 2 or 3 minutes into it, maybe 5 minutes into it, and you go, man, I don't know what else to write. I laughed because he said, just write down. I don't know what else to write. And then just keep writing. Remember, it's not about quality, it's about quantity. Things that come to your brain that are focused on that goal, just write them down. So there we've got the first 20 minutes taken care of. And then the last 10 minutes are simply to look at your goal in relationship to what you wrote down and circle connections. Circle things that make sense, that connect with the goal you've set for the day. So that is the focus that I had today when we were talking about the best version of you needs to think more. So how do we create that habit? Well, there's things out there people tell you, you create a new habit in 21 days of doing it. You create a new habit in, 2 months of doing it. But for you got to determine where do you start? Where do you carve out that 30 minutes a day where that you can be in a place where you've got no distractions and, nothing going on, and just focus on some goals. It makes me think about this too, of start slow. Obviously, if you've never done this before, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, set in your schedule, 30 minutes a time, a couple of times a week. Ideally, it would be 5 days a week. So think about how important this might be to you, because I want you to remember the best version of you is the person that thinks more. And you need to start developing that habit. But could you commit? Let's see, I'm doing this live right now. It's Thursday. So could you commit to 30 days next week? 30 minutes next week to just think on other goals that will help you. So that's the question that we have for you today, is how important is it for you to move your business forward, move your life forward, move your health forward, anything, and start focusing on that. But spend more time thinking about that stuff. So I think we have scared everybody away. So we have no other folks out there. I don't see any questions at this moment in time. So we will be reposting this on all of our social sites. Please be looking for our next Scaling Up event in February. And also, most importantly, shoot myself some thoughts of things that may be helpful for you, because the whole focus of this Scaling Up is not just about our real estate business, but it's about, helping you with your life and improving the things that you want to work on. So please send us any questions or any thoughts you have for future Scaling Up. And with that, I am going to sign off and wish you all a great day, and thanks so much for following us.